What's up, guys? Welcome back to another ranking. Today I'm going to rank all four standalone Predator movies and both Alien vs. Predator movies, worst to best. Real quick before we get started, really only the bottom, there's only one movie on this list that I will probably never watch again. Everything else is at least a decent enough watch. So let's get started. Coming in at number 6 is Aliens vs. Predator Requiem, or AVPR, if you want to abbreviate it. Some good things about it, honestly. The change of setting from Antarctica to a small town, decent enough. The practical effects for the xenomorph, alien, and predator is pretty cool. You get to see more creatures fighting each other, and unlike the first movie, it's a lot more rated R. But this movie has some gigantic flaws with it. First off, this movie is completely dark. And I don't mean from a content perspective, I mean from a lighting perspective. There is so much going on, it's so dark, you cannot tell what's going on. It's frustrating. On top of that, the characters aren't really all that interesting or memorable. They're just bland. So you don't care about any of them. And lastly, there are a couple of difficult to watch scenes, specifically involving a predator alien forcibly impregnating pregnant women with its spawn. It's just distasteful. So, not a movie I really would recommend or really am interested in seeing. Number 5 is going to be the newcomer, The Predator, which came out in 2018. Decent enough. This was, I think, the only movie directed by Shane Black in this franchise. He did Iron Man 3. He worked on the Monster Squad. And he was in the original, so there's some personal ties there. You got some good action sequences, some good modern effects, some pretty good casting. You got Keegan-Michael Key, Thomas Jane, Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown, Boyd Holbrook, Jake Busey. So casting's good. The primary Predator that's been in both these movies is pretty cool looking. The CGI Predator, mixed aspect, kind of decent, not great. I think there's a little too much. I think there's too many jokes in here. I get that he was trying to go for a more comedic tone and some more jokes, but I just think he went a little overboard. So frustrating, very disappointing sequel, but decent enough watch. Number 4 is going to be Predator 2, which came out, I believe, in the 90s, like early 90s. It's a good enough sequel. Not the best, but good enough. You got Danny Glover in here. That's cool. Always love seeing him. Get Gary Busey. He always brings some entertainment to be had. It's really cool seeing the Predator in the concrete jungles of LA. There's some good Predator action. There's some good, pretty decent kills. You got Bill Paxton, rest in peace. Besides that, though, the characters of Bill Paxton and the other two cops, not really all that interesting. It's really 90s, and 90s don't have nearly the same nostalgia power like the 80s do. But it's still a good movie, and it's definitely one I would recommend. Number 3 will be the original Alien vs. Predator. This came out in 2004, I believe. This was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. He did a few of the Resident Evil movies with his wife. The only negative with this movie is that it's PG-13. It should have been rated R. But I think it's a really good kind of mashup between Predator and Alien. You get to see a lot of cool fight sequences. Predators look awesome. The Alien Queen looks really cool. There's a cool fight at the end with the human and the Predator fighting the Queen, which is awesome. So I say check that one out. Number 2 is going to be Predators from 2010. This one, I think, is probably the best sequel in this franchise because it's got Danny Trejo, it's got Lawrence Fishburne, Alice Braga, Mahershala Ali, Topher Grace, and I believe it has Alice Braga. I think she was in the New Mutants movie, which came out, I think, last year. Some really good action sequences, some pretty good kills, some great looking predators. Some good looking predator dogs. But I do think that the character that Adrian Brody plays is a big misstep. They try so hard to make him much like Arnold Schwarzenegger from the 80s, and it doesn't really work. He's fine in the movie, he's just not a very good action hero. But it's a good enough movie. But my number one, the reigning champion, is going to be the original Predator. This is just an awesome action movie, it's an awesome sci-fi movie, and it's an awesome monster movie. This is, I think, besides the first two Terminator movies, Arnold Schwarzenegger's best movie. And I cannot recommend it enough. So, that's going to be my ranking today, guys. Join me next time when I will have a bonus or surprise ranking. But until then, stay safe, always wear a mask, and keep social distancing.